St. Paul has like this like victim mentality, I think.
Yeah, but it's technically the capital.
St. Paul?
Yeah.
As opposed to Minneapolis?
Yeah, which I think is interesting for the Twin Cities.
That is interesting.
I'm brushing up on Minnesota facts.
Yeah,
before I go there.
St. Paulites. I don't think that's what they're called, but they're like
St. Paulians.
I'll St. Paulians.
Yeah, that's the official term.
Cool. I'll go to Minneapolis, hang out with my Minneapolis friends. They never come over to St. Paul to come hang out over here in St. Paul.
Well, why would you?
Okay, all right. I don't really do intros anymore, but I could do one for this guy. This guy hosted the first open mic I ever did, so technically he's part of the greatness of Josh Emerson. He also is a stand-up comedian in his own right, finding a little bit of success as well. How long you been doing it now?
I've been doing stand-up comedy for 8 years.
8 years, thanks. That's enough for you.
And you might ask yourself, what have you accomplished in that time? And I'll say to you and to camera facing, I'm the guy that almost pulled off the Rocky Mountain sweep.
Yeah. What's the Rocky Mountain sweep? Oh, tell me.
If you know, you know.
Okay, good. Good to go. Elliot Weber.
By the way, you didn't text me back when I said, "Glory, glory, Christ is risen."
Yeah, I'm having some complicated feelings about that, to be honest.
Okay.
Texted me twice. He double texted me and then I texted back.
Yeah, but you didn't acknowledge the glory, glory, Christ is risen.
What do you want from me?
All you said was, Monday at 4.
He has risen. He has risen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you would
Okay.
say something like, Christ provides the one
This
true
is
light.
the first Christian thing you've ever said to me in our
been
relationship.
Inducted into a Midwestern family. That's what's happening.
That's the drive.
The motivation behind continuing to do comedy and get
Yeah.
better. What else are you going to do, really?
You can do so many things.
With
You can
your
hike.
life.
You can
Yeah, but you've put this
get
much
into
time into one
fishing.
thing. You commit to it. You just go, hey, I'm just going to keep getting better at this. And wherever it takes me, great. And if it doesn't take me anywhere, I'm the guy that almost pulled off the Rocky Mountain sweep. So I've got enough that I've done in my career so far that I just want to keep riding it and see where it spits me out.
What got you into comedy in the first place?
Throughout all of high school, I would get home, and then I would pretend to do my homework, and I would watch Comedy Central from 6 p.m. until I went to bed every night. Remember Tuesday nights, I would watch like Tosh Point, Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart, in that order, call it a night. And then I would come to school Wednesday morning and butcher all of their jokes and get kicked out of class or whatever. So I was like, yeah, this is dope. And then at one point I was like, well, how do I do that?
Yeah.
And then I just looked up comedy open mics, did it, and was like, that was dope. I'm going to dedicate my entire life and schedule to this. And sorry for anybody that's close to me, because that's how it goes.
People do it 8 years and don't accomplish anything. People do it 15 years, don't accomplish anything, and they don't get better. There's no progress.
Yeah.
And stuff. That's a possibility. That didn't happen to you. Why?
Dumb luck, I think, has a lot to do with it.
When have you been lucky?
I guess maybe you create your own luck just by keep doing stuff. I just kept going on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought about this before. Like if you were to do like a crazy person like basement like pin board, with like the red string of like putting a conspiracy theory together.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to like trace like, oh, this opportunity led to me meeting this person, and that led to me doing this festival, and that led to me being on this show. So it's like you really don't have to have a plan beyond I'm just going to keep doing comedy and going to shows and doing stuff. I'm going to stay busy. I'm just going to keep doing stuff, and wherever it ends is where it ends.
Yeah, there's nothing lucky about having a good work ethic. And I feel like you can't discount that.
I guess it feels lucky because you end up where you are, but yeah, you could also do like the reverse. do it with blue pins and be like, these are all the opportunities that I thought I would have that I ended up missing.
Right.
But I tend to not think about that. To me, it's more interesting to track my trajectory and the way things have gone. Be like, oh, cool, I did this fest. Like, that's just satisfying and interesting to me. I don't really care about the things I didn't get or the things that didn't happen because they don't make it on the board.
I'm jealous of that.
If you were to scrapbook it out, it's like, all right, whatever. These are the things that put me where I am now. I don't know the things that could have put me where you can get it lost in the opportunity cost of where I could be. But
there's so many different parts of my comedy career where I feel like I should have gotten this or gotten that. I get really angry about it, but it
Sure.
ends up being, I mean, there's a little bit of that goes into like motivation. Like I can do all things through spite, you know, but it actually is kind of a short-term thing, and the poison that comes out of that, if you actually don't deal with the anger or just understand that you're not entitled to anything, or even just like this is like, we are lucky to do this, you know what I mean, and just be grateful for just the opportunity to continue to get better. This can be a really ugly industry.
Boulder, Comic Sense. I did a set in that room, and I did a bunch of my dead dad jokes, and a woman walked up to me after the show,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Hey, my mom passed away recently in the last 3 weeks. This is the first time I've been out of the house since it happened. I had a feeling coming out tonight, like in some way I thought she was going to speak to me, and then you went up there and you just said out loud, 'My dad died,' and then you made it hilarious, and that was so offensive to me." This is what she said. But then I thought, for some people, this could really help them. So I pivoted. No, she said it was really nice, and that she appreciated the gesture, and all she's wanted to do since her mom died was tell people. So it was really relieving for her to just see somebody be able to just like say in public, "My name's Elliot and my dad died," and then talk about it and not have it like ruin everyone's night. It was still a fun show, and she did a set at Comedy Works, and then the pro comedians will give notes to people, and Ben Roy gathered around a group of young comedians, and he was giving notes, and he said, "You're a funny white guy, you're a funny white guy, you're a funny white guy, you're a funny white guy. Here's the problem with that. What sets any of you apart? Why is your story interesting? What would you put on a special? What's your act? What's your reason that you should be booked at clubs and headline shows?" And I got to talking with Ben after he said that, and I've had the tragedy of my dad's entire side of the family being wiped out within 10 years. And I was like, yeah, what I think is unique about me is in the last 10 years, my dad and all of his brothers and sisters have died. And he was like, "That's crazy. Could you write a show about that and take it to a Fringe festival?" And my first thought was, with Josh's help, I could do that. So I think that was a huge motivation. That was probably 2 years ago for me to be like, okay, look at the things that are unique about your life, write about them, try to make a show out of them. And it was good advice, and I think we have an awesome show to take to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Yeah, we're taking it to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in a great way, like with the Gilded Balloon, which is one of the big four companies. We're staying with your godparents.
Yep.
Big, you know, like money saver right there. We're not doing free Fringe, you know. We're not doing like a Coward's Hour. We're doing the whole festival run.
26 shows.
Right away. You know what I mean? Jump in full, both
Deep
feet in. We did one warm-up show. It's got legs. The amount of empathy that people, that the audience had for each other and for us on stage, I feel was rare. I don't think I've really felt that in other comedy shows, just because we are talking about people that have passed away. So there is a sense of like, I can't be indifferent right now.
It's taboo. You're not supposed
Exactly.
you're not supposed to joke about it.
Right.
You're not supposed to acknowledge sometimes there's good things that happen when somebody dies. You don't want to celebrate those or blow them out of the water, but it's okay to be like, "Oh, I feel closer to my remaining family," or
Right.
I inherited a house. I didn't, but if you did, like, it's okay to be like, "Oh, well, there are like." Take the win. You went through the worst. If your parents died and you got a house, I feel bad for you, but also take the house.
It's also incredibly common, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, death is inevitable, and we all have people that we care about. So at some point, we are going to experience this huge grief of losing somebody that's so close to us. But it's funny because it's like, I remember how alone I felt, just absolutely miserably alone, and it's one of the most common experiences that that most people have. They haven't felt it yet. They're going to feel it, you know, at some point in their life. And there's definitely people around you that have felt it, you know.
Yeah, I'm really proud of my mom.
Okay,
and that's weird. As a child, you don't always necessarily feel proud of your parents. Right.
Sure.
I mean, like,
usually that's not the relationship.
Well, I mean, you can. It's positive if you do, but normally the relationship is they raise you and they tell you if they're proud or disappointed, and they like. But I realized, my mom's doing a really good job with a really tragic thing. Like, I'm proud of the way she's continued to live her life and have people over and wants to go on trips, and that could ruin you. If you'd been married to somebody for 30 plus years and your spouse dies, that could be the end of your life too. You could do nothing. You could just wallow and fall, but she's taken it and dealt with it and found opportunities to make new friends and travel and connect more with her kids, me and my sister, and even people that aren't her kids, my cousins and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'm freaking proud of my mom. I didn't realize at some point
she's been really intentional about it.
At some point, you're supposed to be proud of your mom. Good job, Mom.
Good job, Jill.
Shout out.
This is just a tiny story about your mom. This was on your wedding day.
Uh-oh.
This was like after most of the festivities had been done and everybody was at that bar just down the street. And she came up and she sat next to me at the bar, and we were talking about it. And she was talking about all the different steps she was taking and like this and that. And she was just like, there's still like an emptiness. Having that, seeing that, just sort of putting that in its place and sort of moving forward and filling her life with love and the joy of her kids and the family their chosen family that she's going forward with.
Fuck, man. Part of that makes me want to cry, and part of that makes me think you missed a great opportunity to tell a joke about filling my mom's empty hole.
I would never. I respect her too much.
Yeah. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, I got you, man. It's funny though, because it's like you hear that and then you're like, gotta make a joke, gotta make it less serious.
Yeah, I'm a little too conditioned, I think. Sometimes I'm not a joy to be around in public.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. Like, people will be talking about serious stuff like that, and want like actually empathy, and I'll be like, guys, we missed a joke opportunity there.
Yeah.
We could have said something about how Josh's dad's butthole's probably wet. you know? And then people look at you like, what? And you're like, sorry.
All right.
Be genuine enough as a person in real life that you can say whatever you want, and people won't get mad at you because they know who you actually are as a person. The problem is people you don't know well.
Yeah, and then they're like, who the hell is this guy?
Right. Maybe you'll be in a setting where you're around a bunch of people that know you really well, friends and family, and you'll be comfortable doing the jokes there.
Yeah.
Then there'll be somebody new that comes in and goes, well, that guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
But then the other people that know you well are like, oh, no, he's like, you just got to get to know him, which is like the worst. I get that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't even know if I get that. Like, you got to get to know him, being like, oh, you have to get to understand him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's actually better if you don't know him.
Yeah.
But if you just spend enough time around this, you start to realize it does come from a place of love.
Yeah. You guys getting to the place where you're post-dad and building life post-dad.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to Minneapolis.
Ooh.
You know?
You might make me cry, but yeah. There is a second wave.
Oh, yeah?
Have you had the second wave? This is what I had.
I had a bunch of different waves, but I don't know.
I had the first wave of dad dying, tragic, sad. Took a long time to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like a year later, because it's been 2 years now. So the first year was recovery. The second year was pretty good. And then coming into the third year, there's another wave of sadness because of the time, where I go, oh, now it's like the first Christmas without your relative is sad. The second one, you're like, wow, last Christmas was sad. But then the third one, you go, oh, shit. Now all the like something clicked.
Yeah.
That's what the second wave was for me, was the years later going, oh, and never again.
Part of why I love this so much is that it's something that we would have shared together, and she's not here.
Yeah.
And so that'll hit me every now and again. But then it's like you feel it, and that's great. And then you go make people laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not something that takes all of me anymore.
When somebody really close to you dies, the first thing that happens is you go, they're not here. And that takes a full year to get over. And then a couple years later, the second wave hits you, and it's not they're not here, it's they'll never be here again.
Yeah.
That's the second layer that I didn't get that second part I didn't get right away.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, this sucks. And then, like, for example, wedding is a great one.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting married and my dad's not here. How sad is it to think that my dad also won't be at my next wedding? Let's go.
Yeah, he won't be at your first divorce party. That's really when you want your dad. I mean,
that's a pretty solid joke, though. Huh?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Clip that. Do you think this is true, the best comedy audiences are either your closest friends and family or complete strangers.
I love complete strangers.
Well, you either want people that will love you unconditionally because then you don't care if you bomb because they're going to love you anyway, or you want people that you're never going to see again because then it doesn't matter if you bomb because you'll never see them again. What you don't want is your best friends and loved ones other people.
Yeah.
That are just like this is even like, you know, at a real show where they're like, "Oh, I don't know him, but that was some weird choices."
Yeah.
There were some weird things that comedians said on stage, and then you go, "Oh, cool." So now that's the person that can judge you because they know you well enough. But everything else, the extremes, I'm okay with.
I've had it where like coworkers or people that know me in other contexts come out and see me and do comedy, and then they try to give me advice based on the relationship dynamic, and it, like at work or something like that. But you're like, no, I don't want your advice on this.
Yeah.
I'm much more an expert on this than you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can give me the feedback you didn't like it. That's fair. But that's about as far as it goes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I steal jokes from people all the time.
Oh, really?
Not not comedians, but just like friends or family that say something funny. I go, ooh. But then you're right, they will start texting me, be like, "Would this work?" And I'm like, "Would what work?" And they're like, "At Trader Joe's, I saw someone buying peanuts." And you're like,
Okay.
"Yeah, I'll use that. Yeah. I just like
you lie to people a lot.
I just be polite about it. I'm like,
yeah.
And then they'll see me and they'll be like, "You didn't do the Trader Joe peanut." I'm like, "Oh, I forgot the Trader Joe peanut joke.
Man.
It's one of my best jokes."
I don't got the patience for that.
That's not lying. It's pleasing.
Okay,
I don't lie to people.
bro.
I don't lie to people.
Wrap it up any way you want, man.
I don't lie to people. I please people.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like what a hooker would say.
Yeah, exactly. You're lying to yourself at the very least. You're gonna have a great life in Minneapolis.
Oh, thanks, man.
Midwestern families, they'll adopt you in, into their weird sort of tribe.
They have.
You know what I mean?
They do, for sure.
And like they're all living right there, and they're gonna be right there to help you with the down payment assistance on your first house.
Yeah.
And like you guys are gonna take family vacations together, and they're gonna be babysitting your kids.
I don't think they're gonna buy us a house, but I do like what you said there.
I said down payment. I didn't say buy you a house.
Ooh, that would still be good. Let's see if we can get that in the works. It's a weird hazing coming into a Midwest family because it's actually like it's anti-hazing.
Yeah, they're overly nice.
No, well, they test if you're compatible with the family in the opposite of hazing. Like we had Christmas. Oh no, this was actually the wedding. We had the wedding, and then they sent us a wedding present, and then we sent them a thank you card for the wedding present, and then they sent us a thank you text for the thank you card for the wedding present.
That's too
and
much.
Then we did a phone call back to thank them for the thank you text, for the thank you note, for the present, and then I pulled the plug, and that's when they were like, "He's good.
He's all right.
He's good." Yep.
Okay.
He went through all the steps. Some people quit after thank you card. He passed the test for Midwest kindness.
Nice.
Let him in.
Let him in.
Yeah, but it was horrific. I mean, that is really challenging to adapt to.
Horrific and challenging in the most sweet way. It's so weird to like complain about.
Because my family's like, keep up or die. This is the difference between my family and Sarah's family. And Sarah's family is amazing. But my family, we all hung out over the weekend. And my sister's boyfriend started hanging out with us. And we went to Odell Brewing in Fort Collins. And they're having like a little event there. And I was walking to the restroom and I saw a dude drop a beer all over himself and body. And I was like, haha, what a dumbass. And then as I got closer, I was like, oh shit, that's David. That was my sister's boyfriend. I was like, oh shit, he's with us. So I made fun of him to his face. I said, what happened? And he said, I dropped it. And I said, oh, you're a dumbass. I'm going to go get the waiter from inside or whatever to help clean it up. And then we went back to the table, and I was like, hey, I don't know if David told you, but he's being a liability again. And that's how you get inducted into our family. More traditional, hazing, making fun of you. Can you hang? Can I call you stupid? Can I make fun of you for spilling your beer?
Yeah.
And if you can survive all that and still get along, then that's how you get in to my side. I mean, my dad was straight up a liability in terms of like bringing people home. I mean, he was a psycho. He was like, I'm gonna show them my gun. Like he would just do crazy shit, but he would do it because he thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But then also I'd be like, just so you know, this is gonna be tough for for you random person that's meeting my family for
That's
the first
fair.
time.
Yeah, because your mom's so sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But he's gonna make fun of you. He's going to
Yeah.
do bits that he likes to do, like, you know.
He never offended me once.
But if you were to look at what he does on paper,
Yeah.
you would go, oh, that's a crazy person behavior
Right.
that should get him punched or, like, you know, thrown out of bars. But then when it happens,
You're like, oh, there's a lot of love behind this.
that's not the result.
This
Yeah.
offensive thing he's saying.
Because
know?
you could just tell. You could
Yeah.
tell it's coming from love, and you could tell he's clearly trying to be funny and maybe push buttons. Like, he got the cheeky look on his face,
Yeah.
like he was ready for a reaction. So it was like, yeah, it was innocent. You have kind of this built-in litmus test with your family and friends in terms of finding a life partner, where I don't have to worry about finding the right person because I know who my family and friends are.
Uh-huh.
And if whoever I bring in, this doesn't work, that's probably for the best. There's like a litmus test to say, and same thing for me going into Sarah's family.
Yeah.
They have their inside jokes, they have their sense of humor, they have their way they do things, and if you can't fit into that, you're going to naturally feel like an outsider, and the relationship's not going to work.
The poster that we made for Dead Man Talking is you and I making out on stage, which we did sort of as like a bit for like an earlier comedy show. But I thought it'd be funny because it's so gay, and it's like fun to use like gay sexuality.
It's not even that gay.
I mean, it's two guys making out.
You're
Yeah.
about to confess to queer baiting. We're not queer baiting our show, dude.
We're not queer baiting.
Keep going. Sorry.
We are a little bit. Are we? Are we queer baiting our show?
No, I looked long and hard at it.
Did you?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. So you think people in my family might have a problem with that? No, not at all.
Okay, good.
My immediate family. Sarah's extended family, maybe, but still I don't think they look at that poster and go, that's gay. I think they go, that's funny, which is where we're on the line. They would be way less offended if I were to be like, oh, I do this bit where I like kiss dudes, than if I were to be like, I'm gay, which is problematic, but also...
Yeah.
People live their lives, and they're accepting people. They're not like, you have to live your life this way, but
Yeah.
maybe they're more like, hey, that's not how we lived our lives. It's a no harm poster.
Good.
Yeah, I don't think there's a poster we could do that would tarnish the relationship at all. Actually,
That's not true.
I haven't thought hard enough about
throw Nazis on there.
Yeah, what
We
you
could throw
can and can't put on a
blackface. I could put
poster.
you in blackface.
Yeah, you have those black and white pictures of the green face.
Yes, I do.
I think about that often.
You didn't want to do it.
No.
You got bullied into it, and you should have pushed back harder.
No, it was a good. There's 4 people in the audience.
Oh yeah, this is up in Greeley. Yeah.
You ever do a show like that where you're like, the show didn't go that well, but I got a couple of sweet pictures.
Yeah. Oh yeah. High Plains last year. I got, all
in the
pictures
gorilla costume. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nobody could really hear me,
Ooh.
because of the mask. But they laughed enough. They heard me enough that they were laughing.
You couldn't
so it
even
wasn't silence, but it was like
pretty muffled.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
But the photo's sick.
Right, because that's the thing. I wasn't there, so I just saw the pictures, and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You should post a picture of you in the gorilla costume and you not in the gorilla costume, both on stage side by side.
I'd be like, which one's which?
And do like a, can you spot 11 differences between these two pictures? And then underneath you go, it's the same picture.
Pitch them on why they should come to the show.
The reason you should come to this show is because it's a unique take on comedy, and it's touching on a taboo topic that we all either have dealt with or will deal with at some point, and we should be able to laugh about it and address it in a more real way. It's really fun. It's a little sad. People cry, tears of joy. People storm out because they hate it, and the fun part is you get to watch it unfold live.
No one stormed out. I just want to make that very clear.
No, there's mystery and intrigue. Some people... some people don't make it through the show, and then people will go, well, we should go see why people don't make it through the show. So yeah, some people probably that's not a selling point.
You can, yeah,
the intrigue.
Sure. Hey, you might get stabbed at the show.
Yeah.
All right, no one's been stabbed yet, but you might get stabbed, and once you, maybe not you, but maybe bring somebody you don't like to the show, and they might get stabbed.
Yeah,
how about that?
Why should you come to the show? Because a lot of people ask for refunds, and you're gonna want to know why.
And we don't give them, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we definitely don't. Why do you think they should come to the show? In 3 words.
Death, laugh, growth.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say love. Growth is way better.
I'm at this place. I'm Navajo. I'm Dene. Death can be kind of a taboo subject. And it's not kind of. It is a taboo subject. But I'm not your normal Navajo man. All right. I'm colonized a little bit, at least. And I think that actually is good for Dene people. Like we have this concept of Hajo, this harmony, and part of that harmony is the joy, the good, the growth, all that stuff. But part of it is that winter, that sadness, and that death and that decay. And it's okay to have those bad times. In fact, it makes the good times feel even better, I think. And the thing about grief is going to be all enveloping, but you really just got to realize that it also has an endpoint, and there's going to be a day when you look up and you feel good. And that message, I think, is important because a lot of people make decisions in that grief stage that are permanent. And that's, I've been thinking a lot in terms of my military service and in terms of being indigenous. Both those populations have a higher amount of people taking their own lives for a myriad of reasons. And any way that we can sort of connect, especially about death, especially about sadness, is a way that we can build community, build empathy, care about each other, and sort of move forward in this. And this, what the show is, it's an opportunity to grow together. That's why you should come.
That's beautiful.
Thanks, man.
Can I try again?
Yeah, go for it.
One more time?
Yeah.
This will be it. Will you ask me again why people should come to the show?
Hey, man, why should people come to the show?
2 reasons.
Hey. Oh, man, I wish you were in better shape for how much you put your body on
fucking
display.
Upsetting how hard I work.
I know.
I know. So mediocre.
So, but that's like...
But you want a third?
Hey, maybe it's your diet?
No. Big carrot cake guy.
Maybe it's just the genetics.
Anywho, May 2nd, Bunport Theater.
May 2nd, Bunport Theater. Probably another one in June sometime. Maybe Minneapolis.
Maybe Minneapolis in June.
But we'll probably do one more before. We're definitely going to do like a variety show fundraiser. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know what that was going to entail, but hopefully some free stuff, some giveaways, some music. I don't fucking know. We gotta do all this. Yeah. Anything like this, like we're already doing so much, you know. Tramp Stamp, I still think would be funny to do live. But, if we're filming it, it might be funny to like have that be screened live. Yeah, you know what I mean.
There's not enough blur in the world.
Oh, for my asshole? Oh, thanks. What? I have a perfectly fine ass and asshole. What do you think is going down back there?
I'm saying if we were going to film you getting a tramp stamp, there's not enough blur in the world.
Fuck, get over yourself, all right? This is the most offensive thing you've ever said to me.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were sensitive about your
I'm not sensitive.
Ass. I didn't know.
It's just, you're being mean. All right, I love you, bud.
Any hooser.
Excited.
Cheers, man.
Let's do it.